talk about both. We will have to deliberate on the issues that led to these incidents. But this is High Voltage, your weekday news analysis show. This is where we review and analyze the news and also discuss issues affecting us as citizens in Nigeria. Things ranging from politics, laws, health, security, and other topical issues that are making round in the country. So join us live this morning by calling into the studio. Yes, we would love to hear from you and hear your take on all we'll be talking about. So your opinion matters a lot. And so save the number and get ready to call us when we open the phone lines. 0706 5853 or 0915 570 8347. And you can also join us live on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on High Voltage News. Like, comment, and share the video for others to be part of the program. So we'll be going straight into the newspaper review. Let's look at top stories for today. We are starting with the Guardian newspaper. Okay, poly lecturers may withdraw services after ultimatum. Poly lecturers may withdraw services after ultimatum. So the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, they've issued a fresh ultimatum to both the federal government and the state government, as well as owners of polytechnics and the monotechnics. So the lecturers said that the government has failed to address long-standing issues such as poor funding, welfare packages, and some infrastructure decay. So if the government does not respond after this ultimatum, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics said that it will declare a trade dispute and mobilize for a total withdrawal of services across all polytechnics in the country. And we know it's going to affect, because once they go on strike, it's not just between them and the government, it also involves the students and the parents as well. So it is really a sign of how deep the education crisis runs. So every time a union cries out, it shows that agreements are not kept. Some things are not being managed properly. Okay, so polytechnic students, we have to lose valuable time because of this. So we are calling on the federal government to do something about it. Next on the Guardian newspaper, insecurity. Federal government reopens debate on state police as Tinubu declares readiness. This is actually the main headline on the Guardian newspaper. Federal government reopens debate on state police as Tinubu declares readiness. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said he is ready to work with the National Assembly to revive the debate on creating state police in Nigeria. So this move comes as a result of the insecurity across the country. So the banditry in the northwest, the terrorism in the northeast, the herder farmer clashes in the middle belt, and all the kidnappings around the country. So the president said he is ready to create a state police for the country. Okay, so moving on, we have non-oil growth accounts for 20 trillion naira income, says presidency. The presidency says the non-oil growth accounts for 20 trillion naira income. It has announced that between January and August 2025, Nigeria generated 20.59 trillion naira in total revenue. So it really marks an increase compared to the 14.6 trillion naira in the same period of 2024. So there's a 40% increase in this. And then it's described as a major turning point in Nigeria because they said it did not come from the oil sector. It came from the non-oil sector, and Nigeria has been dependent on the oil revenues. But this time around, it didn't come from there. It came from the revenue collection and tax that has been paid in the country. Okay. All right, so digital lenders face 100 million naira fine for consumer abuse, data privacy violation. Still on the Guardian newspaper, digital lenders face 100 million naira fine for consumer abuse and data privacy violation. So the FCCPC, that's the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, has introduced a fresh set of rules called the Digital Economy Operators and Networks, consumer lending regulations. And under this, we have that the digital lenders must protect consumer data and avoid unfair practices. We've seen the issues in some of the banks that lends money to people. When they are not able to pay, they publicize the pictures out there, and most times is defamation of character. So these people are out there to protect the images of people. So any offense, we attract a fine of 100 million naira. Okay, so let's see if there's more on the Guardian newspaper. Constitution review. Abbas unveils proposed amendments to Southern stakeholders. And then DSS arraigns 9 suspects over Benue Plateau killings. ADC fought Tinubu's charity plan for National Library. Okay. All right, so that's we are moving straight to the Daily Times newspaper. Let's see what's on it. And on the Daily Times newspaper, DSS arraigned 9 suspects over Plateau Benue killings. That's the major headline on the Daily Times newspaper. So the Department of State Services arraigned 9 individuals before the Federal High Court in Abuja. They stand accused in multiple violent cases, attacks that have swept through Benue and Plateau states earlier this year. So all defendants are being remanded in DSS custody, and the trial dates are set between October 2 and 17. So it's a major legal move. If they are being prosecuted, it's going to put, we hope is going to put fear amongst the bandits to be able to bring peace in the northern states. Okay, so still on the Daily Times newspaper, U.S. government commits $32.5 million to UN World Food Programs in Nigeria. The U.S. government has pledged $32.5 million in humanitarian aid to Nigeria, and is channeled through the World Food Program. So this supports at least thousands of internally displaced people in conflict-affected regions in the northeast and northwest. So its aid is for lifeline for most vulnerable. There are so many people who have been attacked, who have been displaced, who are suffering hunger, malnutrition, and so they've come at the right time to help so many people in Nigeria. A lot of people are dying because of lack of food and all that. So they've committed 32.5 million to UN World Food Programs in Nigeria. It's a very commendable act. All right, next on the Daily Times, the National Library, Nigeria's intellectual heritage must not depend on charity, ADC tells the First Lady. So we must have seen a video of the First Lady, Remi Tinubu, coming out to tell the people that she is celebrating her birthday in few days from now. And she was asking the people that if you are to send a birthday gift, birthday cake, anything it is that you want to send, fund it directly for the National Library, because she believes that education, the country deserves education, everyone deserves education. So, but ADC has criticized the idea of treating the National Library of Nigeria as a personal project for the First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu. So, established by law in 1964, the library holds Nigeria's cultural memory and intellectual heritage. So, the ADC, although they appreciate the First Lady's goodwill, but says that the completion and maintenance has to come from sustainable government funding and not a personal project. It shouldn't be a personal project. It's something that belongs to the whole of Nigerian. So it should come from the government and not from one person. So, all right, so FCTA revokes all park allocations in Abuja, orders fresh screening. Another headline on the Daily Times, FCTA revokes all park allocations in Abuja, orders fresh screening. And still on it, rescued Nigerian girl warns youth against irregular migration. And lastly, we are going to take corruption has eroded Nigeria's economic prosperity. This coming from the Chatham House reports. The Chatham House reports. So it says that corruption has eroded Nigeria's economic prosperity. All right, so that's what we have on the Daily Times newspaper. And moving on, we move to the Punch newspaper. ADC opposition clash over federal government's revenue growth claim. ADC opposition clash over federal government's revenue growth claim. So the president's aide, Daniel Bwala, defends the government's claim that it has met its revenue targets for the year without borrowing locally. Though people have come out to say, okay, we understand that you didn't borrow locally, but then what about the international, the ones you borrowed outside? What about the debts that the country is still owing? What are you going to do about it? So the ADC spokesperson calls the government's revenue sources absurd. He says that high revenue means nothing if citizens are still living in poverty. And honestly, I agree with that, because you don't come out and boast that you've been able to meet your revenue target when there are so many people out there who are suffering, who are going through a lot in your country, in the country that you're supposed to be leading, the people that you're supposed to be protecting. They are dying of hunger and there's nothing being done about it. Okay, so next on it, NARD insists on strike, says over 2,000 doctors hold. NARD, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, they insist that they prepare for a possible nationwide strike. So, and they insist that the government must pay them several old allowances and funds. So we've been hearing about strikes from different sectors. If it's not ASU, it's the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, or it's the nurses, or if it's not the nurses, the Medical Association, or the lawyers. People, NLC, people are just coming out to threaten strike against the government. And this is as a result of poor management. They feel that they are not treated well. They're not treated well by the federal government. And individually, honestly, we are not being treated well by the federal government. So for this strike issue has to end, because everyone from every angle, they are coming out threatening strike. So if everyone goes on strike, what's going to happen in the country? So the federal government has to look into the issue of the strike. Okay, so still on the Punch newspaper, security concerns behind visa cancellation for Nigerians and others. United States says that the security concerns behind the visa cancellation for Nigerians and other people. So recently they shortened the visa validity for Nigerian travelers, and the single entry is 3 months visa instead of multiple entry for up to 5 years. So they're explaining that the change is part of a stricter global visa practices and security checks. So it's not a punishment for Nigerians. It's not a punishment for Nigerians, but they are just trying to be strict with their security, to tighten their security in their country. So, but then the former NNPC official says that many Nigerians had their valid visas quietly revoked without explanation. So there was no explanation, and their visas were revoked for no just reason, and it has caused confusion amongst these visa applicants. So a lot of uproars amongst them. And then, so the US says the change is about security and is not targeting Nigeria, but it's not just Nigeria, it's every other country. So they have been trying to be so careful not to endanger their own citizens by the people they allow into their country. So, all right. And next, my reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect. Tinubu, President Ahmed Tinubu says that his reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect. So Nigeria is globally respected everywhere because of the reforms like the first subsidy and every other reforms that the president has done. So if he believes that Nigeria is respected in all countries globally. We heard recently of how China uses the naira now to trade. So that one is a good improvement. But then we as citizens, we are the one to decide that insecurity, I have to create state police. And then next on it, NLC to federal government, emulate states that pay above 70,000 minimum wage. Emulate states that pay above 70,000 minimum wage. So recently we've seen some of the states in Ebonyi states, in Imo State, we've heard of increase in the minimum wage. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma increased the minimum wage from 70,000 to 104,000, while in Ebonyi State, Governor Francis Rifuru also increased the minimum wage from 70,000 to 90,000 naira. So the NLC Nigerian Labour Congress is telling the federal government to emulate these people and not just bring more suffering upon the citizens. Because recently we've heard of the 5% tax surcharge for when you are buying fossil fuels. So there's a lot of tax upon the citizens. So they are being asked, they are urging the government, instead of putting this burden on the citizens, why not release some of the burdens already on them? Okay, so the actions from Imo State and Ebonyi State sends a very powerful message, and not just the federal government, but every other state should emulate this increase in minimum wage for their workers. All right, so federal government declares tomorrow public holiday. On Vanguard newspaper, federal government declares tomorrow public holiday. So Friday, September 5th, 2025 is a public holiday to mark the birth of Prophet Muhammad. Okay, that's for our Muslim brothers and our sisters. They are celebrating the birth of Prophet Muhammad tomorrow. All right, next, price hike, no subsidy on CNG, says federal government. So the federal government says there's no subsidy on CNG. So the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative clarifies that the federal government does not subsidize CNG, compressed natural gas. That the increase in the price is dependent on the people that sell it, not on the federal government. The federal government does not have any hand in the increase of these CNG prices. All right, so let's see if there's more on the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government not using anti-corruption agencies to witch hunt opposition, minister says. And then US cites security concerns for visa revocation. And again, striker blames Air Peace United as man for failure of Nigerian Air. All right, so that's what we have on the newspaper headlines this morning. And it brings us to the end of the newspaper review. If you have any comment on any of the headlines, remember that you can call in live on the studio on 0706 048 5853, or you can call 0915 570 8347. So you can make your comments and be part of the program this morning. And also remember that we are live on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on High Voltage News. Like, comment, and share the video for others to be part of this show as well. All right, so moving on, like I said earlier, an incident occurred in Enugu State and Abuja yesterday, just this yesterday. Okay, today we are looking at the very painful story that happened yesterday. So what are we talking about is the accident the truck accidents that happened, the two accidents that claimed lives in Enugu, are in the morning and in the afternoon in two different situations. So lives were lost. The first one happened in the morning, which claimed 6 lives, five from a car vehicle and the other one from a minibus. And after the whole incident, another also happened in the afternoon around 3 p.m. A truck, involving a truck also, that claimed the lives of 4 people in a tricycle. So this is very tragic because we heard that some of them were against traffic rules. One was trying to overtake. The first one that happened in the morning, he was trying to overtake another vehicle, and this led to an accident that led to loss of lives. And then the one that happened in the afternoon led to the truck was driving against the traffic rules, the traffic. And this led to the accident that caused the loss of 4 lives. And then 10 people were also injured in the case. 10 people injured and 10 lives lost as a result of carelessness. And these are avoidable cases, avoidable deaths, avoidable accidents. So some things like these are not supposed to be heard at all, because where are you rushing to? We need to ask you, as a driver, where are you rushing to? Because now that you've cut short your life, are you still going to go on with the journey? So we need to be careful. We see what happens on the road. You see traffic rule, it tells you to stop. You are moving ahead. And you don't know the implication of this. So it's really sad that you keep hearing stories of people dying, and these are some things that would have been stopped if there was any, like the person, it would have been stopped, yes, by anybody in the vehicle would have said, driver, you are not meant to do this. You are not meant to overtake at all. Because the first one was trying to overtake another vehicle, and it led to the accident and the loss of these lives. So these things are very tragic stories that comes up on the papers, on the news. So it's very sad what happened yesterday in Enugu State. It's a very sad story. So these lives that were lost, and families are crying over it. People are mourning because of something that could have been avoided. So it's really sad. Although they claim that the trucks involved were from the Dangote Group. Dangote Group has come out to claim that it's not from them, though they have the logo on the trucks, but the trucks are not from Dangote Group. So this comes just few days after the death of the big sister of the Big Brother Naija Season 7 winner, Fina, who also was involved in truck accidents that led to her lives. So a lot of people are dying on road accidents. It should be something that we open our eyes to know that we need to be careful on the road. We need to be careful with the way we drive on the road. It's a very sad incident. So this happened around the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, the Ozala Four Corner ASICS. So it's very sad event. All right, so now we are going to be looking at another story that happened in Abuja. A very sad story also. And this time around, we are going to be talking about the touts. There are lots of touts around us. There are lots of touts in the states, in the country. What am I talking? They are also known as the Agberos. We have them everywhere, in the bus stops, in the marketplaces. We have these Agberos. And the reason I'm talking about this is because they led to the incident that happened in Abuja yesterday. They led to the loss of the lives of a family of 3. So it's a very painful incident that happened. This story has left a lot in shock and deep anger. Yes, it left a lot in deep anger. So a husband, the wife, and the little son, they all lost their life in a very tragic way because of touts, because of the Agberos. We see them every day. We see them on our way to work. We see them on our way to our different houses. We see the way they operate. We see what they do. And we are wondering, What's giving them this boldness to come out and operate? Who is giving them the leverage? Why are they able to come out and start harassing people, extorting people? And when you try to defend yourself, they feel like we own this place, we own this land, we tell you what to do, we decide what happens in this locality. And they do anything. They are ready to do anything just to ensure that what they are saying, that you abide by what they are saying. So what's the story? So the family, from reports that the family has gone to buy a refrigerator. Imagine just coming out to buy something and then not able to get to your house safely. It's really sad. So three touts on their way home, 3 touts chased after their Toyota Highlander from the Berger area in Abuja. So these men forced themselves into the moving vehicle, struggling with the driver for the control of the steering wheel. And as a result, they lost control. They lost control, and the vehicle hit a pillar under a bridge. And this led to the loss of those people. And of course, people were not happy about it. Reports say that the 3 touts were also killed by mob, by the mobs around, by the people that witnessed the incident. They were beaten, the touts were beaten, and they were burnt alive. Note that I do not justify jungle justice, because we've already discussed this on this show. We discussed it on Monday about the issue of mob justice. Although people are coming out to say that they deserve it for causing the death of these families, that they deserve to die. So the actions that they took led to their own loss. They lost their own lives as a result of this. What do you gain from trying to extort money? Imagine I'm walking on the road. I went to buy something, and I'm using my own vehicle to take the product to my house, and you want to collect money for transportation. You want to collect money that I'm transporting this product from the place I bought it to my own house. Make it make sense to me. No, it doesn't make sense at all. So who is allowing these touts everywhere? They do what they want to do. You go to the bus stop and you see what happens. The driver loads people, and they have to settle some people around. You are the one buying your fuel. You are the one repairing your cars, your vehicles, and then there are people around to take money from you. And there's nothing you can do about it, because it's looking like it's now normalized. Yes. So it's been normalized in our society. And it's very wrong. It's the bad things like this. It should not be legal. So where are the law enforcement agencies? Why are they allowing this to thrive in the country, in the states? When did this issue of Agbero, when did it start? Where did it start from? Because at years back, we used to hear it happened in Lagos. It used to happen only in Lagos. And then it spread. It spread to the south, the east, everywhere. Now in Abuja. And people that heard the story, some of the comments on social media, people that heard the story were surprised. Like, what are they doing in Abuja? Abuja used to be peaceful. And in as much as some people claim that Tinubu came to FCT and his boys joined him, the Agbero joined him to Abuja. So there are actions of this, because these touts, they don't care, they don't mind if they lose their own lives in the process of getting what they want from you. So it's really something, it's a disease that is eating up in the country. It's very sad. So we ask again, why are they so powerful? Why does government seem helpless against them? Because sometimes you see them and you also see police around, and then nothing. They claim that it's their right to collect your money. So many times they are backed by transport unions and political godfathers many times. And this activity ranges from extortion, the minor extortion, to violence, smashing the windscreen, dragging drivers out of their seats, collecting your car key because you refuse to give them what they asked you to give them. And as we saw yesterday, they've caused deaths as well. So it's not just being violent to the fact of ensuring that you give them money. It's now leading to the death of people on the road. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Onitsha, in Kano, every state, you see touts. The major cities, even in our communities, even our villages, there are touts there. And some are being employed by the government officials to work as security personnel. So it's really sad. It's causing this public safety of the families, of the people out there. It's causing a broad daylight. So someone is operating boldly, harassing people on the road. So the government, we don't know, the government needs to do something about this touting, this agbero. It's really sad because, of course, we have police divisions everywhere. We have them everywhere. So when issues like this happens, they're supposed to do something to ensure that things like this are not, we don't hear stories like this. But it feels like they are working hand in hand with the security operatives. It seems like. Because sometimes even at the bus stops, you see them, you see police by the side, and nothing is being done about it. It's now legalized in the country. And some of these things is actually unemployment that is causing it. Because some of these youths, some of these agbero, some of these touts, they are unemployed. So they are just taking this job, the agbero job, as their own. They are guiding it with their whole lives. What are we going to do to ensure that this thing comes to an end? Do we even think are ready to look into matters like this? I mean, the story that happened yesterday should be enough reason for the governments to look into it and ensure that none of this happens again. Clear the touts out. Let them find work for them. They should empower them to do something meaningful with their lives. Because everyone is suffering it. Who is not suffering it? The driver out there. Even the private car owners suffering it. So we want to know, like, have you ever been harassed by touts while traveling or driving within the country? If you have, we would like you to share your experience, because these things happens every day. Call into the show. Call us on 0706 048 5853 and share your own opinion. Tell us what you think can be done to curb this whole thing. Or do you think it's a fight that can never be won? And for the incidents that have been happening, who are we going to hold responsible? Is it the government? Is it the touts alone? Because it feels like the government are allowing them to thrive in the country. Because until the government speaks against it, they are going to continue doing what they are doing. I read the story yesterday and I was so sad. Like, I felt so sad for the families that lost their lives just because of touts on the road that felt it's their right to collect money from them. I buy a property, I put it inside my personal car, and then you think that because I'm transporting it from that location to another location, I should give you money. It's so sad that the family they lost their lives. It's very sad, but we still need to deal with this issue. It should not be allowed at all. It should not be allowed. And alternatively, you can also call us on 0915 570 8347. So do you think that this banning the touts completely, that is realistic? It's something that can be done in Nigeria, or it is something that has come to stay? Because allegedly they are also working with the government, officials. They are working hand in hand. Some people call the touts, the Agberos, the MC Oluomo's boys. Like it's known by the government that these people operate like this and nothing is being done. Yes, we take our first call this morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning, you are welcome to High Voltage. Your name and your location. Okay, please go ahead. Okay. Mm. No. Mm. 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 Or the touts.
Without knowing that they are developers. This is very, very serious. This is very, very serious. Government government is making these people to get the tax from people. Why don't government is raising their way? That people will be paying tax without using these people, so that people will be saving in the government.
Yes.
You will not run from here now to this state. You will not know whether you are facing a number or you are facing an ordinary house. You will see people continue with this thing, blocking the road.
Mm.
How would you know that this? How are you aware to know that they are the numbers or they are down? Now, what are the people are thinking now? People are thinking now every day. You will not know the checkpoint of town, and you will not know the checkpoint of Islam anymore.
Mm.
This thing is very bad.
Is
And government are just looking at these people and leaving them because they are generating one nonsense revenue for the local government nearly or something like that.
mm.
This could create a way that the party will be paying this their taxes like the Western people. This UK new South and West and Western countries.
Mm.
This is very bad. This is very bad.
Yeah, it is very bad. Thank you so much for calling in. You can also join us live on the studio by calling 0706 048 5853 and tell us your experience, the experience you've had with these people, and also what are the possible solutions that you think that we can put on the table, like what should be done about this whole thing. Is it stronger enforcement by police or the local task force, or is it formalizing the transport sectors? But because it feels like they are working with the transport sector, they're collecting money up and down, different levies to pay, and you don't even know which one is real or which one is not real, but they just present you, most of them present you with a receipt, and you just keep paying every time. Touts are there collecting money, collecting your hard-earned money, and when you try to fight them, when you try to defend your own right, it becomes brutal. So in the essence of trying to protect your own life, you just have to obey, do their own bidding. So it's very, like, it's wrong. It's very wrong. They should create alternative employment for youths in the society, so they can stop this flow of new touts. Because the more they operate on the road, on the streets, more people are coming out, new people are joining them. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Please, your name and your location.
Yeah, my name is Abab.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm calling from MND.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I love this program. So I am a driver.
Thank you.
I understand all this that we are talking.
Mm,
Sometimes these people will be performing on the road.
mm,
Police will be around, even soldiers will be around. Sometimes after their checkpoint, people get checkpoint.
mm.
After their checkpoint, let the police checkpoint. I think they are working hand in hand. Because if not, then security would have removed these people out of the road.
Mm.
That is what I know. I understand what the other caller says. If government needs to generate that, there's a way Samba used to do zones recently.
Okay.
Create a way where people can stay and direct their own routine. Then put people that will take the routine, you take people that stay. There's a way out. But these people, I don't think they are planning to do anything about it because there are some illegal jobs that are going around that government don't want people to know. That is why they are using those cars on the road. Police are meant to secure the citizens. But police will be around, see people, meeting the citizens whom we are supposed to
Protect.
secure. We will be around, looking at them like as if it is a normal thing. Government should do something about it.
Exactly.
That is what I want to contribute on it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling into the studio. And honestly, yes, the government needs to do something about it. They should look into the matter. They should look into the matter because you can't be seeing a security personnel ahead and then you are being terrorized, you are being harassed by touts, by the agbero out there, and they are not doing anything about it. They're just standing and watching the whole thing. Maybe there's a lot they're getting from it. So it's really sad occurrence that happened, and just this one act led to the loss of lives of a family yesterday in Abuja. And it's so wrong for things like this to be happening. It should not happen at all. It should not. So the federal government needs to look into this touting of a thing, create regulation, ensure that they are regulated, find a job for them, give them something to do with their lives so they will not be harassing and be causing problems for other people. Okay, all right. So what happened yesterday is it's not just a tragic accident, it's a wake-up call. It's a call to the government, to security agencies, to transport unions, and to all of us as citizens. So we cannot continue to normalize touting because sometimes we've seen it as a normal thing that is so let's just happen. So we cannot continue to normalize it, cannot continue to normalize harassment and extortion on our roads. So this is where we leave it today, but the conversation still has to continue in our personal individual lives. We need to take it to the government offices if you have the power, take it to the communities, take it to everywhere, anywhere you can, so they can do something and stop the issue of touting on the road. So thank you for staying with us this morning. And if you missed any part of the show, you can get a replay on our YouTube channel, High Voltage News. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video, and also join the community. Join us again tomorrow by 9 a.m. on Volt 104.3 FM with more headlines, more analysis, and of course, more of your voices. Till then, stay safe, stay strong, and keep your voltage high. My name is Odeline.